Hello and welcome to UCTV Overtime. My name is David Cooney, and each week we will bring you to your Utica College sports highlights. The Utica College field hockey team won 2-1 in a shootout against Elmira College on Saturday. This win puts the Pioneers in the number 2 spot in the Empire 8, placing right behind St. John Fisher. Elmira scored the first goal in the 6th minute, and the Pioneers responded in the second half when junior Sidney Scatia scored a goal to tie the score at 7-on-7 before heading to the shootout. Sabrina Whitehouse went on to score the shootout, sealing the victory for the Pioneers. The Pioneers women's soccer team traveled to St. John Fisher on Saturday and tied 2-2. The women went into the half not having scored at all, but came back in the 29th minute when senior Michaela Blumenstock scored, and then the 74th minute, Kiera Casey followed up to even up the score. The men's soccer team did not have very good luck this weekend, suffering a loss to Sage College. The Pioneers had an early lead, but Sage responded with 3 consecutive goals. First-year player Giant Thieves attempted to make a comeback in the 62nd minute on a penalty kick, but it wasn't enough to shorten the lead held by Sage, who scored another goal 6 minutes later. Ending score being 4-2, Sage College taking the win. This past weekend was Utica's homecoming, where the Pioneers faced off against the Morrisville Mustangs. The Pioneers fought hard in the first half, scoring 3 touchdowns and a field goal to place themselves ahead 24-20. In the second half of the game, the Pioneers started off strong, right on the heels of Morrisville, pushing the game past regulation. Logan Wilcox led the team with 318 yards throwing, 3 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions on the day. Makai Medici was phenomenal in this game as he continued his perfect field goal streak, as he had 3 this past Saturday, making him 10 for 10 on the year. One of them included the game-tying field goal that sent the 2 teams into overtime. Fast forwarding to the second overtime, the Pioneers started off with the ball, but were only able to come away with a field goal. Unable to stop the Mustangs from scoring a touchdown after a controversial pass interference call, the Pioneers lost 44-41. This week, the Pioneers football team will travel to play Brockport this Saturday. Men's hockey team had a strong showing in their first preseason game against Morrisville State College in Rome Saturday night. Utica won by a score of 7-1 and overpowered Morrisville with 52 shots on goal to their 13. The Pioneers were extremely successful on the power play, going 2 for 5 on offense, as both Buster Larson and Brandon Osmondson found the back of the net. Defensively, the Pioneers were perfect on the power play, stopping Morrisville in all 7 of their attempts. Everyone was getting in on the scoring, including JT Intellisano, Nick Yuzaguri, and even Jackson Ratowski. But it was Larson who led the attack with 2 goals for the Pioneers. Up next for UC is another preseason game against the University of New England on Saturday at 7 p.m. in the Adirondack Bank Center. The Pioneers women's soccer team has had an interesting season. Senior Allie Wagner, goalkeeper for the women's soccer team, was recently named the North ECAC Women's Soccer Defensive Player of the Month. This was amongst the East Coast in Division III schools. Allie is currently the 11th in the nation and has the most saves of any goalkeeper to stand in the top 50 nationally in saves. In the opening week of Pioneers soccer season, Wagner was already breaking the records. She became Utica's all-time career saves leader after beating out a record held for decades by former player Melissa Diana. Wagner talked about the tough competition on the field that day with our own Deborah Bourne.
In the opening week of UC soccer, Allie was already breaking records. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so it was our second game of the season, and there was a record held by Melissa Diana, and it was about 21 years old, I think, and the team came out. I needed 8 at the start of the season to break it, and then our second game, we got it. We broke it. The defense helped me out, made my job really easy, so all I had to do was catch the ball, so it was fun.
Awesome. This season has been quite a semester for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been really crazy. Our conference is in the air, so we play the Empire 8 Conference, and there's about 8 teams in there, I think, now that Stevens Institute of Technology has left, and it's just been a whirlwind. Our conference is very evenly matched, so every team that we play really matters for our record, and we just are trying to come out and do our best.
That's great. So your list of achievements for soccer is quite long. So can you tell us about the process for that? Do you set goals?
Yeah, so for every game during the national anthem, I set aside 3 goals that I want to accomplish in that game, and then I'll listen to the last and the home of the brave. So that's kind of my ritual, my routine. So that's individually what I do, and then in the locker room, our team will set goals, and our coach will give us goals. So yeah, we're very goal-driven. We have specific, measurable goals. You know, the SMART acronym is what we use. So it's nice because it gives us a purpose to each game, and it gives, for individually, it gives myself a purpose for each game too.
Tell me about one of your toughest games so far this season.
This season, we recently played Fisher, St. John Fisher in Rochester, and we ended up tying them 2-2. It was really tough because at halftime we were down 2-0, and that's one of the most dangerous leads in soccer. So we had to come back because we didn't score any goals in the first half, and then we managed to get our team up and fight for it, and then we went into overtime, and the whole game was just a really big battle. Like, we just came out on fire, and then they got the better of us, and then the second half we got the better of them. So it was really just a battle, but that's probably been our toughest game thus far.
Wow, that's great. So the women's soccer team will be playing Nazareth College tomorrow at 7 p.m. here at UC. So what are your expectations for the game?
This game is really big. It's going to dictate for ourselves if we make it into the Empire 8 tournament or not. So we just are really ready. A lot is riding on this game. So we just want to come out focused and level-headed for this game. Naz is a good team, but I really think that we can compete, and I think that our team has the capability to beat Naz and make it into the tournament. And as a senior, it's really exciting because so much is riding on this game, and it's senior day tomorrow as well. So I think the team is really ready for Naz and ready for the challenge, and I think that with it being senior day, there's that extra motivation, and I think we'll be all right.
Great, sounds good. So as the season draws to a close, what are your personal goals?
Personally, I just want to see us make it into the Empire 8 tournament. I also have some off-the-field goals too. Like, I just want our team to be good friends with each other and have that chemistry on and off the field. I want my teammates to know that they can come to me with anything, I can go to them with anything, because it's more than just about playing soccer, being on our team at UCWS. So for that goal, I just want everybody to be working their best on the field and then relying on each other on and off the field.
That's great. You've given me some great answers. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We wanted to do this interview because you're obviously such an awesome athlete and an asset to Utica College. So thank you again.
Thank you.
And thank you both to senior netminder Allie Wagner and Deborah Bourne for that interview. Speaking of seniors, the Pioneers women's soccer team is playing Nazareth College tonight at 7 p.m. at Charles A. Gaetano for senior night. Go to ucpioneers.com later on to find out the final score. Men's soccer suffered a loss at home last night against Hobart College. The Pioneers lost 3-0, making their record 9-5 on the season. The Statesmen scored all of their goals within 4 minutes of the game. Pioneers goalies Nick Spooner and Chris Rosado had a combined 3 saves. Even with Tyler Muller's 3 shots on goal, the Pioneers just couldn't find the back of the net. They now have 2 more conference games left on the season. They are tied with Elmira College for 2nd overall in the Empire 8, so the stakes are raised. The next game the Pioneers have on the schedule is Saturday at 5 p.m. as they travel to Alfred University to take on the Saxons. Their final game will be played against Hartwick College the following Saturday at Charles A. Gaetano Stadium, so mark your calendars. This Friday, the swim team will have a meet at home at 5 o'clock against Cazenovia and William Smith College. The women's volleyball team will play Alfred University at Alfred on Friday at 7 p.m. Cross Country will be away as well this Friday as they run at the Hamilton Short Course Tune-Up. Football will play at noon on Saturday at Brockport. Field hockey will also take the field at Hartwick College at 1 p.m. The men's hockey team will take on the University of New England for their first game at the Anorak Bank Center this season. JV football will play at 1 p.m. on Sunday at SUNY Cortland. My name is David J. Cooney, and thank you for watching UCTV Overtime. As always, fear the Moose.